Hey Reds, welcome to another episode of Tricolour Reds, hosted by Khalid, the guy offside, joined here tonight by Dara and Nigel as usual. Good to see Dara back with us on the screen tonight. I suppose a lot to digest with United over the last few weeks, but most importantly, the passing of Sir Bobby. A huge personality inside Manchester United and a person who embodied Manchester United, a player who played for the crest on the shirt, was just an unbelievable talent and from all accounts an unbelievable man to a lot of the younger members coming through the ranks at Old Trafford. So condolences to his family, condolences to anyone who knew him, because he seemed to have a great impact on many Reds' lives and he will be sadly missed. I'd like to just pause for a moment. I think it's only fitting that we as Manchester United fans applaud the career of Bobby Charlton. He was just phenomenal. I'm thankfully not old enough to say I saw him play, but I have seen the highlights of him and he just looked like such an important player for the team. He was unbelievable, and I don't know, will we ever see his like in the game again, let alone in Manchester United, but I'd love to know what he would have been worth in today's transfer market. I think he would have been up there with the best, and he was lucky to have played with so many great players. So just for 1 minute, lads, I'd like to get the four of us to just applaud the career of Bobby Charlton, a true Manchester United legend and one person who deserves that moniker of Manchester United legend.
Thank you, Deck. Thank you for the lovely intro. Ooh, we saw you have notes, Dara. So is that your cheat sheet or something?
Someone hide his notes.
Oh, someone hiding his notes. Okay.
I don't think it'll make any odds, to be honest.
Okay. Interesting. Thank you, Deck. Thank you for the lovely intro. I think I will only just say one simple thing about Sir Bobby Charlton. I'm fortunate enough that I sit in Sir Alex Ferguson stand and I see the name each time I go to Old Trafford, Sir Bobby Charlton stand. That just says it all. For me, it's, I can't just find the words. And to survive that famous Munich disaster, to go back from zero in an era where there is no such thing as mental health or mental health experts, to be in a plane, lose your friends and build the whole club from scratch and go few years later to go what used to be called the European Cup and build that legacy. I think it's far beyond from something that we will see again, let alone his spirit. I've read stories about how he was helping people in Manchester, in England, the empathy he had, the human he was. I hope Sir Bobby Charlton rest in peace, and I believe that Onana save that will get through tonight. Somehow, I believe it was a bless from Sir Bobby Charlton on a Tuesday night. Condolences to his family, and Dara, up to you for quick words.
What more can be said about Bobby Charlton that hasn't been said already? An absolute icon in today's football by their own standards. Kind of, you mentioned about looking across from the Sir Alex Ferguson stand. I'm honoured to be sitting in the Sir Bobby Charlton stand every time I'm there. While there's talk of renovation, at the end of the day, no matter what happens, Sir Bobby Charlton will always deserve the name on the stand. Just to touch on your point there, coming back from 1958, just win the European Cup with Manchester United 2 years before that, winning the World Cup with England, being the star in the World Cup final as well as the European Cup final, and to win the Ballon d'Or before it was actually known as the Ballon d'Or, the European Football Player of the Year, ahead of Eusebio, no less on that particular year. It's just an incredible achievement. And one thing people do talk about is a point that a lot of people have actually brought up since his passing, was of how hard he actually hit a football with such power and accuracy. We all hear the great people talking about how do you describe it? Like, people will be able to hit a football at such a pace and such velocity. Given the type of football it was back then, how hard would he hit today's football? Like, you saw the way the Jabalani used to go back in the 2010 World Cup where it kind of swerve. Imagine him hitting a Jabalani. It's madness. But honestly, an absolute icon, and just for the career he had, an absolute inspiration.
Nigel, up to you.
Yeah, no, again, condolences to the family on very sad loss, and to the club too. But what I really like to see all across the last few days was the different tributes that was paid all across the football world at various games. I seen a game there at Barcelona, at Atletico Bilbao, like, just to show the at the standards that he was held by football fans from all across the world. And again, none of us are old enough, obviously, to remember him from his actual playing days. So to have these people, like, who never witnessed, but they just understand what Bobby Charlton was, and an icon of football. There's not too many at his level, in terms, like, when you're talking about your Pelés, you talk about your Maradonas, Beckenbauers, and that. He definitely deserves to be classed in that icon level for footballers. And it's sad that, again, as the last of the Busby Babes, to unite that famous team all back together now, it's a very, very sad loss for the club. Obviously, a very, very sad loss for the family. But we'll always remember him. He'll never be forgot. And the same as the Busby Babes, they'll live long in all of us.
It will live long in all of us and the next generations. And I loved all the tributes, to be fair. I loved everything that was shared. You cannot hear one single word that is not good or anything. It just says it all. It just says it all. And it's tough for football fan in the past 2-3 years. When was it? Maradona 2020, right? And then Pele 2022, I think.
Last year,
correct? Yeah. Last year, 2022, and now Sir Bobby. It seems, end of an era, but condolences again to the family, to his children, to his grandchildren, and to all his family. And with that, let's jump to what I read online, and I love it, to the Sir Bobby Charlton spirit that gave that Onana save in the last Champions League game on Tuesday. So Champions League came back to Old Trafford. Roller coaster game, as usual. Almost another heart attack. I will say as usual, because we've been living this up and down emotions over the past few games. We won. We are back in the race. We are on 3 points. I cannot imagine if Onana did not save that penalty. That I'll still, an old line of view again here. Sky Sports will speak until 2-3 weeks about how Manchester United sits at the end of the group and never happened in history. But we did it. We won. And Dara, because I stole your line, I'll start with you. Champions League, that Onana save. Start to me from that Onana save and then go backwards to the game.
Honestly, I those last 10 minutes, I say 10 minutes, we talk about last 15, 20, I actually had to turn the phone on airplane mode because so I turned on my viewing was actually a little bit behind, even though I was watching on my TV somehow. But I had to turn my phone on to airplane mode because I was only going to spoil what actually happened in the end for myself. And what actually happened turned out to be, as you just said, a complete and utter roller coaster. Okay, we want to talk about that penalty. The penalty itself, it was one of those where you kind of debate, was it a penalty? Because there was a lot of, you could see the intent as to why the referee would give it a penalty. Because fair enough, McTominay's boot was high. but there was a bit of simulation as well from El Udinese. You can't deny that. And even Ten Hag referenced this in his post-match press conference. It wasn't a penalty in his eyes, but there has to be some consistency. Where Hoyland had the penalty appeal thrown away, we ended up conceding one in the depth of despair. And honestly, my heart was in my mouth. I was just tempted just to walk out of the room. You can even ask, I was just tempted. I was like, no, I don't even want to watch it. You could hear the scream from me of pure ecstasy just watching that penalty being saved. You can probably hear it up at the top of my road, and I lived on a country road. So what does that say, really? But honestly, the whole game was just a roller coaster. I just have written down here, in the midst of all the bad performances we've had so far this season, I do find that the first 45 minutes were some of our worst this season, and it's a recurring theme where we probably will end up saying that one or two more times across the season. But genuinely, when you consider how compact Copenhagen's defense were, even the commentators made a point of it. Robbie Savage made a point of it on TNT Sports, where he was saying it's just the way that the 4-5-1 was so compact by Copenhagen, no one was actually able to get past it. And even for Highland, he was having a quiet night. So when he's doing all the running and all the pressing, and he's still getting nothing of it because Copenhagen were so compact, I said it on my own social media. I thought it was going to be something where Copenhagen were going to carve out a 1 or 2-0 win. But you want to talk about me screaming the house down? Harry Maguire's header. Who expected that? I think Deck would
expected it.
I think Deck would have expected an Anthony Martial screamer more than a Harry Maguire header, if I'm honest.
I don't know. I'm not sure about that.
You just see him shaking his head.
No. But let me start with a comment from Kevin there. He says, we never do it the easy way, do we? Hopefully a turning point for Onana. I celebrated that save like a winning goal. To be fair, I did the same. It was...
I think we all did, being honest.
I think we all did. And I'd be dying if I got a notification on my phone before I see it on TV. So I did the same. Airplane mode, leave me alone. I'll just leave it. And at some point, I was like, let me turn on the phone to see its final time when it was the corner. And then McTominay did his thing. I think it's hard to give, but I saw 70%. Yes, I'm biased, but 70% should be a penalty. But yeah, Deck, I'll go to you. And do you agree with Kevin here? Is it like a turning point for Onana? And then tell me about how you lived the game and how you lived the roller coaster of this game.
I definitely see it as a turning point for him because it's going to give him massive confidence. He got us to 3 points with that save with the last kick of the game. That has to give him confidence because, all players breed on confidence. That's what they want. That's what they need. Strikers need to be scoring, defenders need to be defending, and a penalty save for a goalie is up there with what they need. So he's definitely going to feel great after that, and hopefully it will bring him on. I'm like Dara. First 45 minutes, I was dreading it. I thought we were brutal. Delighted for Harry Maguire. Delighted to see him get a goal.
Yeah.
Really think that was good for him, and I loved the way he celebrated as well. He could have gone this summer. A lot of us probably wouldn't have been too sad to see him, but you have to give props to the man. He stayed there, fought for his place, and his performances are getting better. And the goal will just really boost him. So, yeah, I really enjoyed it. My favourite part of the match was Garnacho trying to get a penalty spot.
Yes, I did might have been able to bring it up.
For a young lad to even think of that, to try give any advantage to United, I loved it. I thought it was great. Fair play to him. I hope he goes on to have an amazing career with United. I think he's got the raw talent. He's got the right mindset.
I thought your favorite moment was when Martial was going in.
My favorite Martial moment will be when they take the jersey off and send them on a bus to. I don't care what country, anywhere. It doesn't bother me.
Timbuktu.
I'll pay the bus fare. It doesn't. I just can't understand how he's still there. I can't. I will struggle with it.
All right. A few comments. There's a good friend of mine, Josh, an Aston Villa fan. He says, "Love the studio setup," because I just shared the photo with the studio. The link and big up for the rest of the panel. And then Aaron, our favorite guy in Kildare, if you see in Celtic last night, the press they played was brilliant. The energy they had didn't give Madrid a second to think. It was Atletico Madrid. That's what we need back, a boost of life and energy into the squad. Did you see, Nigel, this boost of life and energy into the squad that Aaron described in the comment yet Tuesday in Old Trafford? How did you see it?
I seen it from when Onana got across and he saved that penalty. The way, though, you tell me that those players don't care and they don't feel things. The way they all just went to him and celebrated, I think they knew this hopefully could have been a watershed moment in the season. And again, delighted for Harry Maguire. I'm not going to turn around and say biggest fan or anything like it, but he has took torrid abuse. And again, myself and Dara can testify to this when they even referenced it in the telly the other night, the game against Bilbao up in the Aviva. Like, I mightn't like a player and I won't make any bones about it, but I would never, ever boo a Manchester United player in a Manchester United shirt. It doesn't serve any purpose whatsoever. But anyway, just to go back to what you were talking about, I definitely think, like, I know what's coming on Sunday now with the derby against City and stuff like that, but for the literally the last kick of the ball, like literally as soon as Onana put his hands on it, referee blew the whistle. So them boys knew they are back in that group now. We have the trip to Copenhagen in 2 weeks, and like you win there, it's all backed up. It's all open to play for them again.
Yeah.
And again, what I like to see was they definitely, in the sort of last 15 minutes, they tried to go for that winner. They knew what was at stake. They knew that they could not leave that pitch without 3 points. And they gave it everything. And again, I hope on Wednesday, Garnacho went out and bought the groundsman a big gift because he was digging for Australia on that penalty spot. I think they're going to start trying to play pitch and putt on it now because there's definitely a little putting hole there where the penalty spot used to be. But again, just clever, old school, like in full view of everybody. Like, and the TV cameras picked it out, and all the boys are just disputing everything. There's Garnacho, any sort of an advantage to try and help the cause. And that goes to show you how much it means that a win at all costs. And if you have to slightly bend the rules a little, that's acceptable.
Okay.
As I saw on social media, Garnacho, where do you want your statue?
Well, he's going to have to cover that hole, I think.
I think he was just trying to. There was a bit of mud on his boots, and he was just trying to clean it off.
Yeah, that's all.
That was my second favorite moment. My first favorite moment was when Onana saved the penalty and everyone jumped on him. He was still saying, "No, go! It's a corner.
Get out for the corner. Yeah,
get out for the corner." And then it was
that is very
done.
true, actually.
Yeah, that was like really boom. That beats Martial going in. It was my favorite one was Martial going in, and then Onana took it.
Son who took the penalty?
Henrik Larsson's son, Jordan.
Yeah.
Is it Jordan?
Yeah.
Let me show this great story from question from Josh there. A question for the panel. What is your honest expectation of what United will achieve this season? And then a second question, what do you think should be the minimum expectation when you came into this season? Dara, I'm starting with you.
And I'll try and keep it short this time. So, simply put, going into the season, let's be honest, we thought, okay, with the signings we made, probably going to challenge Arsenal and City because they were the two teams to look at going into the start of the season. Given the way our season's gone so far, honest expectation, probably just stick with that. I love it. He's getting the time rolled out and everything.
Go ahead. I'm just messing with you. Go.
Honest expectation after the last few performances, between the poor performances and gritty wins, and then good performances but bad losses. You gotta say, just get another top four in the trophy, whether it be FA Cup or League Cup. Again, honestly, it's not the ideal expectation, but it has to be the most honest one right now. And I think I kind of answered that in the one, because the minimum expectation now should be continue with Champions League, continue with top four. If he wants to continue going for the FA Cup and League Cup like he did last year with the stronger teams against teams, let's say like we look at Newcastle now on Wednesday, they're going to probably put out a relatively decent team considering we're playing them. Like, but at the same time, we just don't know because we don't know where their priority is. We don't know if their priority is Champions League or if we don't know if their priority is just get a trophy under the belts. And especially after losing the League Cup final to us in February last year, they're probably going to go out for blood. So,
All right.
honestly, minimum expectation, go for a trophy again, but we should be aiming higher.
And that was a short answer from Dara Cashman.
As always.
Yeah, as always. So I'll
Nearly.
give you my short answer in a few seconds. So for me, as we walked into the season, I wanted to finish. Obviously, want to win the league, but I see, unfortunately, we're far. But I had expectations to be second. Now it seems a little bit far. But the minimum expectation would be win at least one cup and still finish in the top four to play Champions League next season. Deck, I'll go to you. I know the biggest expectation is Martial on the bus, but give me the other things. You know?
I suppose I wanted to build on last year's season. I thought we had a good season last year. My minimum expectation was that we'd push on from that. Unfortunately, that hasn't happened. I'd love to see another cup win. I'd love top four. I think if we keep playing the way we are playing, top four is going to be out of our grasp. I honestly do. I hope I'm wrong. Aaron made a point there about Celtic's pressing there last night. We don't do it. I don't know why there's this utter need for playing out from the back, because it slows down, and then we spend so much time passing it back. Always, there's no pressing on it. So I think that could be a big danger for United this season. They're leaving teams get at them. They're passing out from the back. I hope they change it. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope United get top four. But I just have a funny feeling that if they keep playing the way they are, teams are going to get the better of them. But minimum expectation trophy in top four has to be every season, yeah.
All right. Josh still says, I'm glad Deck has just said that no way you can get top four. Josh, I might reconsider what we discussed earlier over WhatsApp. I just told him about the Newcastle game for next week. But I'll reconsider now, Josh, as long as you're posting comments that you won't finish top four. Nigel, up to you. Minimum expectation before we go to the derby, because Kevin also asked about the derby, so we'll discuss the derby in a few minutes.
Yeah, no. Well, minimum expectation, I think, what I would have hoped would be to consolidate our Champions League spot and stay there, and hopefully to continue building with the squad that we have, because some of our transfers just haven't hit the headlines as we expected or hoped they would. Like Mason Mount has not really, in my opinion, got Man United fans off their seat, which is a bit disappointing. Highland, again, we all know the hopes that I think the whole club nearly, and all of us, the four of us here and everyone hopefully listening to this, has placed on that man's shoulders, because we haven't had someone like him for a long, long time. But yeah, I can't really say a whole pile different than what the boys have already said. The League Cup and FA Cup, I'd love an FA Cup. It's always been probably one of my favourite tournaments.
It's the best.
Just based on the history of the tournament and where we are one of the most successful clubs in that, similar to the League Cup. And again, not to place any disregard on the League Cup, but the FA Cup I just think holds a higher value. And I think if possibly even if there was ever a change of things, that they could actually nearly award the Champions League last four spot to that rather than the league. I think clubs would take those types of things far more seriously and treat them with the respect that they deserve. But yeah, no, again, coming into the season, and Ten Hag identified his players. He pretty much got everyone he wanted. He wanted Onan, he got him. He wanted Highland, he got him. He wanted Amrabat, he's got him. So I think now, like I said in the last piece about the Copenhagen game, this maybe could be just that little spark that could just let them realise that, again, there's Manchester United, and second is not accepted. We have to be upper, and again, I'm not kidding myself for league title or something like that. But we have to be. You have to be challenging, and again, performances at home haven't been good enough. Where we have lost to Crystal Palace, we have lost and lost to Spurs away, and like we've probably far too many losses already at this stage of the season, which is very, very disappointing. But let's hope maybe if again you're on Sunday, at the end of the day, it's Manchester United, it's Old Trafford, it's the derby. If you can't raise it up, you're playing the wrong game. And I know we're moving on to that.
Yeah, Dara, you can say the same thing, and that's the short answer of Nigel.
No? Sorry. Sorry.
I'll change the dynamic here.
Does Josh actually think Aston Villa are going to finish higher than United?
That's why I put it on the screen. I think he's got some different drinks tonight. Maybe he's too happy with Villa. Just check the score now. That's why. So they won 4-1 in Netherlands, and they were up 4-0 already. But then the Dutch team just scored as Alkmaar. But yeah, seems Josh think they will finish higher than United. So I have it there on YouTube. It's up, Josh. I hope you're still watching. And then we will speak at the end of the season. And then he says something else that I think we will all like. United to win the EFL
Yes.
Cup.
There's the answer now.
That's the Josh we like, you know.
Let me just change the dynamic. I'll ask the question this time. Do you think the overall of the injuries is actually making a difference in our performances? Because we're still playing relatively decent football, but you could just tell that the certain players that are missing, you could tell, like, so it was actually made in the point of Ten Hag's post-match conference at the end last day. He said how defensively they've had to change it because of the fact that Martinez is out. So it's usually Varane, Martinez, and then Casemiro sitting in front of them. But because Martinez is out, Varane was inconsistently out with injuries, the whole defensive dynamic has changed, and it probably puts a different dynamic on the performances. So do you think the overall between, let's say, likes of our midfield problems, most importantly our defensive problems, do you think that's actually making a difference? Because like I look at the way, like, I was never the biggest fan of Shaw and Rashford, but looking back at it now and seeing how they've fed off each other last year, I do feel that Luke Shaw getting injured so early in the season did make a big difference to how Rashford has been performing, because he's still a great player in my eyes, but he needs someone that's on that level with him, if you get what I'm trying to say, that feeds off him. So I just want to know what your opinion is, and I'd love to hear anyone else's opinion as well.
Well, injuries are going to affect every team, definitely. But I just think our playing style at the moment, where we seem to give other teams a 45-minute head start, is affecting our game, and we're playing catch-up all the time. When United are attacking, that's when they're a threat. When they're passing it around to each other in defence and into midfield and back to defence and back to midfield, I mean, they're no threat. We need to attack, and that's what Manchester United are known for all around the world. When we're attacking, we can hurt teams, and that's what we need. We need a bit of belief, and I think hopefully with a few decent results, if belief comes back into the club, that's where we'll see the performances on the pitch getting better. But yeah, definitely injuries are affecting us big time.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah.
Hopefully for more attacking football, more build up, and I think more winning culture, more trust. That's what we lack. We still shaky if we concede 1-0 down. It's shaky in the mindset. It's shaky everywhere. But I do believe we have the right squad, and we still need few more. I would say a few more to go. Start with, and I know who's top of the list. But let's hope and really it will be an inflection point or a turning point from what's happening on Sunday. Now we've got first Champions League win. We're back. Hopefully we'll go second in the group phase, because there's no way of going first now with Bayern doing what they're doing. They're making history, new records, by the way, with their win against Galatasaray. Hopefully with the Derby win, and I'll start from there. And just Nigel, I'll go to you, because you did that not enough time to answer Dara's question, but I'll jump to you for the Derby. What's your expectation for the Derby? What do you see it? How do you see we will play differently, or a lineup from Tuesday? How can we beat City? Just let's make it easy. How can we beat them? It's tough, I know.
It is, yeah. Geez, thanks for starting with me, by the way. No, I'm not. I'm usually the last of the goals, and I sort of just feed off what the rest of the boys say. Have you not figured that out yet? But no, like again, I think it's probably going to be similar lineup to the Copenhagen game. I don't really see how or where you can change anything based on, again, what's on the bench and the way
we need
Ten Hag.
Hannibal. We need Hannibal. That's it. We'll win.
Oh, you're just biased. We know that. As much as he hates Martial, we know how much you love Hannibal. But like I think I still think there'll be an awful sense of let's do it for Sir Bobby. I think there will still be that, again, where I read last week where there was a suggestion where they would go back to the old style shirts similar to, and the Dara there flexing there. But I like Man City have definitely proven through the course of the season that they can be got at. They're definitely not unbeatable. Where you look, and I think the way that lad there commented about Aston Villa and stuff like that, so many teams have leveled up now, and they don't seem to have the fear of your traditional these teams like Man City and that one, unfortunately not Manchester United anymore. But I'm not going to lie. If someone said you get a draw at the minute, will you take it? Yeah, I think so. But again, consolidate a little bit, and but no, I definitely feel we have it in our locker to beat Man City. We definitely.
Yes.
But again, we have to start quickly. Again, too slow, and again, as Dak reference, we definitely can't. We definitely not can give them another head start, because it's just proven that we psychologically aren't in the mindset to turn things around. But
exactly. And Deck said the keywords. He said we start slow, and Kevin here agrees with him in the comment that I'm showing now, that we start too slow. So, Deck, can we afford starting slow the derby, or
not a hope? No, not a hope. We have to be on the front foot from the first kick of the game, and that's how we can beat City. By being quicker, by being aggressive, by attacking them. When they've been got at this season, they've been beaten. And that's the difference. If we give them a first half head start, there's no way we'll be able to overturn it against them. But every United player should be up for this game. They should be up for every game. But a derby is more special. And especially with the passing of Sir Bobby, that they need no more motivation than being given the absolute divine right to wear a Manchester United jersey. No player should need any other extra motivation than that, and to be taken on the Noisy Neighbours, who've been around for, I don't know, the last 5 years or something. Yeah, I think that's when they got formed. I'm not sure. This is it. I mean, this is what you want a player to be playing the big games and to get one over on the neighbours. So yeah, hopefully both sets of fans will respect the passing of ex-players. We've all seen online footage of disgraceful scenes. I'm not condemning every Man City fan, because unfortunately every club has people that don't have good beliefs or good reputation, so you're always going to like that. But once both clubs show respect to each other on Sunday, and hopefully we get a good game and 3 points.
Yes, hopefully. And there I'll point the gun at you.
30 seconds?
No. That's why I want to point the gun at you. Score prediction.
Score prediction.
It's there. It's up on YouTube. Don't disappoint yourself.
2-1 United.
Interesting.
I just feel like if United actually do decide to start on the front foot this time compared to previous games, as the boys have previously mentioned, sit here there to be got at. My one fear is like, I love Dello. If Jeremy Doku is on that left wing, I do fear for him. Sergio Reguilon can take on any man.
Yeah.
Can we just put Luke Shaw with one leg and centre back again? He might actually do a decent job against City like he did last time. You never know. But
Yes,
no, honestly, on a serious note, though, I do feel if we get off on the right foot, 2-1.
2-1. Okay, we'll get them from the first half. Just as Kevin is saying, if we give City too much respect and let them play, they'll beat us. We need to get at them from the first, second, bring it on.
Agree.
Yes,
Come on, Kevin. I agree.
100%, Kevin. 100%.
100%.
Hit them out of the traps. Hit them
I say we will win 1-0 in a very dramatic way, very tough game. They'll be playing a little bit better than us. I say they'll miss chances. Onana will make his one appearance of the season, best than anything else, I say. And then 1-0, I would say Mason Mount.
I was going to say Anthony Martial, the 97 minutes.
Doing what?
Walking up the tunnel.
What's he doing?
Yeah. Waste time in the 90 minutes when we're winning 1-0 and they're pressing us. We can put in Martial just to, waste time with the change and everything with the substitution. But yeah, I would say 1-0 Mason Mount. It's there out on YouTube. Just mark my words. Deck, any score prediction?
I always do it on the app, and I actually went 2-1 to United. But that's what I've gone for. I think City obviously have the attacking threat to score, but I just really hope United attack from the start, get at them, and in attack we can beat them. Yeah, so 2-1 United.
2-1 United. Nigel, are you with me 1-0 or 2-1 with them? Or
No, I'm 1-0, but I'm 1-0 Bruno. I think.
I'll buy that.
I think we need a captain's performance, and everyone has to follow in his example, because it's 1-11. It's going to take every single one of them boys. But I'm hoping Bruno is something big in the locker, and that he brings it out to play on Sunday.
Hopefully, it's up there. Hopefully, and even if we are all wrong and we win 1-0 and Rashford scores, it would still take it.
If Onana scores, I couldn't care less. If Eric Ten Hag scores, I couldn't care less.
Even if Martial scores, someone won't care. It just celebrates the win and that's it. And then we'll go back to Panther.
I have a new movement that we should start. It's called #Martial for Villa.
Ooh, Martial for Villa. I hope Josh is still watching. I don't believe that he can't even start for Villa. They've got a good strikers now.
He's
that's what
here.
for Ollie Watkins can be done.
Yeah.
Or we can swap. They can give us Watkins and then we can give them Martial, no?
It'd be nice for Watkins to go to a big club.
Oops, Josh. I don't know if you're there or not, but I'll just check with him. All right, lads. 37 minutes. Thank you for joining. Thank you for the one who watched us. There's 3 people watching on Kevin Floyd, McTominay. No, it's Kevin. 2-1 McTominay to come and score one of them. Okay, it's up there, Kevin, with us.
Take that. Well, yeah.
And thank you for the comments. Thank you, Josh, also for the lovely comments. And talk to you next Wednesday, hopefully on a happy episode celebrating a derby win. Thank you, lads.
Cheers,
much.
All right, thanks a million, lads. Take care. Chat to you soon.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, guys.